on the Aggie Sports Network. From Learfield, Aggie basketball has been brought to you by Sports Academy and Racket Club. Your club, your results, your life. Zions Bank. For 150 years of helping you succeed, Zions Bank is for you. Ford. Build Ford proud. Also by Stokes. Stokes Trucking. Doing the right thing since 1979. Welcome to Aggie Postgame. From the All-in-One Flooring America radio booth, here's Scott Jerrod.
Welcome back. You're listening to Aggie basketball from Learfield. Utah State down by as many as 9 points. Rally. Have a late 13-point lead before St. Bonaventure's able to crawl it all the way back to 3. But Utah State able to hold on and win this game 72-67. Your post-game show brought to you by Farm Bureau agent Brandon Jensen. Give him a call at 435-752-4800. It's your future. Let's protect it. Aggies now improved to 6-0 on the season. We'll take on the winner of this North Texas Northern Iowa game, which is going to tip off here in about 20 minutes from right now. But Aggies can breathe a big sigh of relief because this thing was crazy in multiple ways. Aggies led right out of the gate 7-0. Then St. Bonaventure came, took a lead. Utah State pulls back up by 5 late in the first half before finally St. Bonaventure goes on a big run and led by as many as 7 in the first half, took a 5-point lead into the break, and then led by 9 with about 18 minutes left to go in the second half. Aggies go on an 18-3 run, take the lead back, lead by as many as 13 before finally St. Bonaventure wakes up, and then they can't miss a shot. They cut the lead down to 3 with just about 30 seconds left, but Ian Martinez able to hit a couple free throws, and the Aggies get the stop they need on the other end and win by 5, 72-67. Yep, that's a heck of a night. Utah State, that's your scoring summary brought to you by your Utah pork producers, committed to farming responsibly and ethically. Visit utahporkproducers.org under We Care. All right, Utah State led in scoring with Mason Falsley, who has 15, Martinez with 14, but just 2 of 10 from the field. He had 9 of his 14 points coming from the free throw line. Dexter Allen with 12 points, Drake Allen with 12 points tonight. Isaac Johnson with 4. Gadarazzi ends up with 10. And Dexter Akano ends up with 14 points, including 3 of 6 from 3, to go along with 4 rebounds and 2 assists. By the way, Mason, a double-double tonight with 15 points, 12 rebounds. And I think you need to give a shout-out, too, to Drake Allen, who ended up with 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists. He did not have a particularly good game in that Iowa game, but yet in the second half, he was much, much better here in this one and really was one of the keys to Utah State getting the victory tonight. We'll take another timeout. You're listening to Aggie Basketball Final. Utah State 72, St. Bonaventure 67 on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield.
Ski season is coming, which means Season Ski Rentals. This is Mark at the Sportsman, where we have over 20 years of season ski rental experience. We rent to kids and adults. Come in to get season ski rentals for your entire family. We like to wait a little later in the fall because there is a chance your kids might grow out of their boots by the time ski season actually rolls around. Starting at $69.99, you will get the right gear for your kids to ski this year at the Sportsman on Main Street in downtown Logan, with tons of parking in the back.
'Tis the season, and if you're getting engaged, bring that special someone to S.E. Needham Jewelers. You'll love our extensive selection of beautiful engagement rings. Also, you'll select a diamond from Utah's largest selection of loose diamonds. You'll find a unique ring at an affordable price with diamonds direct from Antwerp, Belgium at internet pricing. It just doesn't get better.
And you may also take advantage of our 12-month interest-free financing.
Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7, where Utah gets engaged. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical. I'd like to invite you to learn more about us. Since 1997, we've been Utah's premier one-stop shop for home medical equipment. What sets us apart at Alpine Home Medical is the superior level of customer service. We provide home oxygen, CPAPs, wheelchairs, scooters, breast pumps, and so much more. Come on down and get to know us.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Visit alpinehomemedical.com.
Advanced Heating and AC and Advanced Fireplace and Stove want to help local families this year with a food drive. Drop off your canned foods at Advanced Heating across from DI or hand them to one of their technicians when they come to your home for a repair. And to say thank you, the Advanced team will match all your contributions and offer a 20% discount on your next service call. Find out more at advancedfireplaceandstove.com or call 752-7272. Donate to Advanced Fireplace and Stove's canned food drive for local families.
We're not comfortable until you are. Advanced Heating and Air.
Aggie Sports coverage is sponsored in part by LSS Insurance Agency, your local Medicare and Social Security experts on News Talk KVNU, where Utah State is always number one.
Basketball, as Utah State able to get the victory tonight. Final score in this one, crazy game, but Utah State gets it done. Final in this one, 72-67. Coach, this game crazy on multiple levels as Coach Calhoun kind enough to join us, and you're down at halftime for the second consecutive game, but probably statistically playing your worst offensive game of the season in that first half. What was the message there at halftime to get these guys back up and going?
You know, I told them we should feel really good where we're at, to be honest with you, Scotty. To be down 5 as bad as we played offensively. I mean, we had 7 blocks. They had blocked us 6 or 7 times at the rim. And I think we were 4 of 15 or something like that from 3 in the first half. I'm sorry, 2 of 18.
Two of 18,
So you're 2 of 18 and 6 of your shots have been blocked, and you're down 5. So what that really teaches you is our resolve, our willing to keep playing through adversity, to figure out how to win. And that's what it's about. You know, we're not going to have great shooting nights every night. For whatever reason, everybody over here today, I think other than Florida, hasn't made a shot. And I think it's a good shooter's gym, so I think tomorrow we're going to make them all, Scotty.
Well, I love it. But, you know, that's the thing. You knew this team was going to be better offensively in the second half, but I really thought that your defense allowed your offense to really get going there in the second half, because defensively it looked like you were much better there, especially in the first stretch of the second half.
Yeah, I mean, once again, you know, we forced 12 turnovers, negative assist to turnover rate. Bonnie's is good. They're going to win a lot of games. I hope they get into that top 100, and you know, this is a quad 2 game, you know, at the end of the year. But I think they got a lot of good athletes. I think they're going to be one of the best defensive teams we'll see. What's crazy about this tournament is both them and North Texas, I think, are elite defensive teams. So if you're not making shots, Scotty, you got to find a way to win. And I think that's what we did tonight. Thought going small with Dexter O'Connell was a big change, you know, for us, and it really worked out well. He stepped up, made big shots. And, of course, Mason, I thought, was really good. Ian gets 14 and 2, and I didn't think he was going to play. You know, he battled. You know, he was on an IV all day today for 45 minutes, didn't practice. So we're a little bit out of rhythm there. But you got to give Coach Schmidt a lot of credit. Their kids never quit, right? No. And, you know, I was going to burn 1 or 2 of those timeouts, but the bench kept saying save one, you know, and then we kept getting the ball in to the right guys. And unfortunately, we missed a few free throws, but we closed it out, and now we'll see who we play tomorrow.
Well, you know, when a team is reeling a bit, when you're up by 13, it looks like you're just about ready to park that car in the driveway, and then all of a sudden they cut it all the way down to 3.
Yeah.
But you're able to keep your composure. So there's things to learn about holding on to a lead, but also you want to commend them for being able to find a way to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's twofold, right? They just kept playing, and we would get to the free throw line and we split, right? Or we'd miss you know, the one-on-one before we got to the double bonus. So, you know, it's hard to play with the lead, Scott. Everybody thinks it's easy, but it's not. So you got to give them credit. Certainly, we got to look at the tape, figure out what we can do better as coaches, whether it's a press attack. But we got the ball in every time. We fell asleep a couple times down there defensively, but we still held them to 67. And it's hard to teach a lot in this environment. You got to get ready for the next opponent. Like, we got to watch this game and try to win another one here.
Drake struggled against Iowa, turned it over 5 times in that game, but tonight ends up with double figures as well as dishing out a bunch of assists in this game. I thought he rebounded nicely after that Iowa game.
He did, yeah. I mean, I think Drake's going to be a good player. 12, 6, and 3 is a really good night in 30 minutes. And the nice thing is we have a lot of guys tomorrow. We'll play Jordy, we'll play Tuck. Hopefully we don't have to go small again. But I think that was the difference, and we can do that with Dex. But we got a lot of guys that'll be fresh off that bench, and I said we're going to need them. You never know whose night it's going to be with this team. So everybody's got to be ready.
You know what I've noticed? You've said multiple times that your offense your offense really complements your defense, but your defense really gets an assist when you get a good bucket and you're able to get back down on the court and settle in defensively with that zone, as opposed to, a long miss or something like that, and they're able to get you in transition. Your offense really sets up your defense to be successful.
Yeah, in the second half we shot 50%, from the field, 40 from three. We just had to settle down, 77 at the line. So first half was a rough one, Scotty. It was, I'm sure a lot of people at home were wondering if we were ever going to make them. But, our kids are just winners, man. They make winning plays. They never give up. Nobody panicked on the bench. Certainly there was some frustration certain times and timeouts, but just got to stay together. That's what life's about. It's a special day. You're playing on Thanksgiving, ESPN 2 national TV after the NFL. A lot to be thankful for. So we got to get some rest and be ready to roll tomorrow.
Go get some food in you.
All right, thanks,
Appreciate it, Coach. There he is, Jerrod Calhoun. Utah State gets the victory tonight, 72-67. Hey, Aggie fan.
You were there. You watched the game. Or you heard it all here on KVNU. So now it's your chance to give your thoughts and ask your questions about the action as KVNU Aggie Game Day continues with Aggie Call. The phone line is 435-753-KVNU. The text line is 435-554-1175. KVNU Aggie Game Day is brought to you by Daryl's Appliance, Advanced Heating and Air, Primrose Home Care and Hospice, Blue Sky Restoration, Advanced Garage Door, The Logo Shop, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Golden Spike Electric, Alpine Home Medical, S.E. Needham Jewelers, My Mattress, Riverwoods Conference Center, Cache Valley Bank, Aegis Healthcare, Jarek's Fine Jewelry, Les Olson IT, Adams Wealth Advisors, DD Auto and Salvage, LSS Insurance Agency, Cafe Sabor, The Sportsman. It's KVNU Aggie Call with J.D. Walker and Stockton Jukes.
Well, it was a tale of two halves. The first half, the Aggies lost completely. It was... I kind of made a joke to Stockton in the conference room while watching it here from the mothership. I had better luck scoring with the ladies in high school than the Aggies did from three-point land in the first half.
Yeah, it was rough. I think they were shooting under 20% in the first half and under 10% from three at one point. They mimicked Iowa in the first half of that last game from three. They were 1 for 13 at one point in that first half from long distance. And it makes sense now hearing that Ian, has been battling some illness. That's why he only shot 20% from the field tonight. And did have 9 for 10 from the free throw line, and that's the guy I still want to go to the line in those close situations. But, yeah, there's a lot to be desired tonight. I do think it really did come down to the defensive matchup, though. And Jalen hit the nail on the head where you just keep moving them around. You switch back and forth. Every time you do that, you're going to confuse the heck out of the guys that are supposed to be guarding you. And so, despite not having shots on the offensive side of the floor, the defense wouldn't let the Bonnies get into the game at all. So Utah State finished that at 34.4% from the field, and St. Bonaventure 42.6% from the field, but only 61 attempts for the Bonnies to the 64 for Utah State, and that's where the big difference comes in. And then again, the game is won or lost at the free throw line. 22 for 28 for Utah State, 78.6 as a team, 9 for 15 for the Bonnies, 60%, and they lose by 5 points. Guess how many they left at the stripe, JD? 6.
Whoa. Text line open 435-554-1175. The A is blue, celebrating the Aggies 72-67 win over St. Bonaventure. Phone line also open right now on this Thanksgiving edition of Aggie Call, 435-753-5868. Also letting Jalen hang out with his family and eat some turkey right now. Got a few texts coming in, 2444. We could have closed the game a lot better than we did, but the fact that we overcame such a poor shooting half and pulled it out in the second was impressive. Impressive game by Akano, Falslev, and Martinez, even if he was dealing with an illness. Hope to see the offense running a little bit more smoothly tomorrow. 2444 also adding, I'd like to give a shout-out to Drake Allen. I thought he responded well from his poor performance versus Iowa. Yeah, I think the depth of this team is really kind of cool. If you have an off night the night before, you can come back strong the next time, and there's somebody always willing to step in. Mason had a big game. He did a double-double, I believe. Jason Walker just posted that on X. But
15 and 12 rebounds. So.
Yeah, but also had 6 turnovers. So it was kind of one of those things where everybody's stepping kind of up. Coming in from 1-3-2-6. I wish Barnes would have played more. He threw a beautiful lob and then got taken out. He's a creator, and we needed that in the first half. I think Jordy Barnes is kind of that secret weapon right now to use when coach needs to settle things down. But I think one of the things that I'd also like to point out with 2-4-4-4, giving a shout out to those players, I think game ball goes to coach and his second half adjustments.
Yep.
I kind of posted tongue in cheek on Ag saying, do you remember when Coach Calhoun made adjustments at halftime and the Aggies came back to beat the Bonnies in the Bourbon Bowl? Like a little shout out to the water boy there. And that's what it was. To me, it looked like Coach Calhoun was the master of making things happen.
Yeah, it's I got to know what it is that he is saying in the locker room, or if he's just straight up yelling at the guys, if he's having a conversation with them and they're breaking down their own mistakes. But whatever he's doing is working fantastically because they have had a better second half in all 6 of the games they've played so far.
So we have a little breaking inside news from the locker room at halftime. Here's the speech that Coach Calhoun did. You can do it! You can do it all night long! Something like that, I think.
You're on a Waterboy kick today.
I am. Well, it's Thanksgiving, and we're having kind of a blast. Had a little turkey during the game, and, was kind of down at halftime. I think we both decided we were going to throw things if we lost on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But if you want to sound off right now, we've got the text line open. We know it's a Thanksgiving edition of Aggie Call, 435-554-1175. If you want to sound off on text, 435-753-5868. That's 753-KVNU. If you'd like to call and talk to us here after the Aggies put up a win over St. Bonaventure. Just looking at some of the box scores, some of the things that stick out for me, Stockton, 5 players in double figures, 4 starters. And it's really kind of cool. Gutteretzi had a really solid performance. And, you look only 10 points, 1 block, 5 rebounds. Those kind of, low numbers for him. But 4 of those points were those dunks at the rim. Authoritative, put it in that second quarter. And you kind of see the probability of the Aggies. Like at halftime, it looked like the Bonnies were going to win. And then about 10 minutes left, it's like that magic moment. And then
it's the same thing that happened against Iowa is you come out of halftime in a close game and you're kind of struggling to get there. But then after that 12-minute media timeout, there's a switch that flips for these guys, and they finish those plays that they weren't able to finish in the first half, and they find the shots that they weren't able to hit in the first half. And you love that. I mean, it's not great for our cardiac health, but
no, not at all.
That's how you want to play the game, is you want to get better as it goes on so that, when you do hang on to these close games and you're finding yourself in these close moments, you know that your shot's just going to keep getting better. That bucket's going to keep looking bigger. So, hopefully they do have a better start tomorrow. I'm interested to see who they're going to end up playing, and it looks like it is going to be that 7 o'clock game. So there's a pro and a con to this one for you and I, JD.
Yep. But Black Friday Marathon. We'll be kicking off Aggie Game Day for the Colorado State matchup for football, the final football game of the season. We've got interviews. Craig's talking to their play-by-play guy. We're going to empty out all the Know Your Aggies and just really celebrate the ending of the football season and the fight that this team showed. Then we'll have the football game, and we'll do Aggie Call. And then I think Aggie Call is going to turn into Aggie Game Day for the matchup against, I think it's North Texas or North Iowa or Northwestern Penal College or something like that we're playing.
Let's see. Let's find it here.
But that'll be at 7 o'clock, so that means, probably rolling Aggie Call into Aggie Game Day and stuff like that. But we got Jalen hanging out with us. We got all sorts of stuff.
Northern Iowa, North Texas. That's the two. It's between North Texas. 5-1 is a 4-point favorite going into tip-off.
All right, so it's going to be the Aggies versus the North. So I guess we're the Rebels.
Last time Utah State played North Texas in a sport that I can remember was a bowl game a couple of years ago where Jordan Love wiped the floor with them. So hopefully trends continue.
So also something else we're kind of keeping an eye on here as we get ready to go out to break. We'll come back with more analysis and thoughts and your feedback right now. If you want to join us here on Aggie Calls, celebrating the Aggies. The A is blue in Logan tonight. Utah State 72 over St. Bonaventure 67. J.D. Walker, Stockton Jukes. If you want to sound off, the text line open right now, 435-554-1175. That's 554-1175. The phone number wide open, 753-5868. That's 753-KVNU. I want to say thank you to LSS Insurance. Overwhelmed with Medicaid rules, regulations, and questions? Call them. They can help walk you through the steps. 752-9493. S.E. Needham Jewelers. For 127 years, Utahns have trusted Needham Jewelers for the finest selection of diamond and jewelry. And Locker 42, a place for Aggie fans, by Aggie fans. Get all your gear. I might have to stop by there tomorrow and check out their Black Friday sale before we come in here and get some.
I'm probably swinging by a couple different places tomorrow morning. Yeah, I just got myself some skis. I'm getting into the ski game now. So if anyone has any tips, tricks, recommendations, I'm new to this winter stuff. Let me know.
You'll probably see Stockton at Al's Sporting Goods at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning.
No. I'll be in La La Land at 5.
We'll be back with more Aggie Call here on KVNU. Thanks for listening.
People gathering to give thanks, renew friendships, and celebrate traditions will always be what the holidays are about. This is Lance Zollinger, President at Cache Valley Bank. As we celebrate together, thank you for making us your preferred hometown bank and trusted tradition for achieving your financial needs and ambitions. We wish you a year filled with wonderful memories, good times, safety, and lots of happiness. We think you deserve it. Happy holidays from Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
This is Jay with Daryl's Appliance. I have some breaking news. Black Friday pricing has started at Daryl's Appliance. For a limited time, double dip and get our exclusive mail-in rebates and save up to $1,000 on appliance packages from your favorite brands. Plus, you can triple dip with Daryl's exclusive 2-year warranty on all appliances delivered and installed by Daryl's. Daryl's Black Friday sale. See store for details. Daryl's West on Airport Road, open until 6 p.m. on weekdays, 5 on Saturday.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
This is Kyle at Advanced Door, and we guarantee every garage door we install for a lifetime, parts and labor. That's every door, every spring, every roller, every track, every motor. The entire garage door system guaranteed for a lifetime, parts and labor. We're Advanced Door, and we guarantee you'll be hearing this for a long time. Find out more at advanced-door.com. That's advanced-door.com.
KVNU Game Day continues with Aggie Call. Your chance to talk about today's game. Call 435-753-KVNU or text 435-554-1175.
Starving for truth. I'm closer to where I started. We're chasing after you. I'm falling even more in love with you.
Welcome back to KVNU Aggie Game Day from Jason Walker. The Bonnies made one heck of a late push, but Utah State hangs on to the win. Mason Falsev, 15 points with 12 rebounds to lead 5 total USU players in double figures. And get this, USU overcame a stretch where they missed 18 straight field goals. Sounds like me asking out girls to the senior prom.
Oof.
With a 9-point second half deficit. It's all right now. I found my dream girl and everything, but man, I know how it is to take those shots and miss 18 straight times there, Stockton.
The coming-of-age film about J.D. Walker's middle school and high school experience would be incredible.
Oh, no, and it'd be very boring and very kind of nerdy, but
the soundtrack would kill.
Yeah, the soundtrack would be excellent. The soundtrack would be 10 times longer than any movie or anything. But also want to let you know that right now, in college basketball, I believe before the broadcast, there's 26 undefeated teams. Now going on in like the Randy Chacon Invitational, wherever BYU and Ole Miss are playing. Ole Miss 23 and BYU not ranked at the time but undefeated 77-77 at the end of regulation. They're going into a 5-minute overtime here. BYU giving Ole Miss everything and then some. I'm kind of hoping BYU drops it here because then the state is run by the Aggies, the undefeated Aggies in Utah. What are some of your thoughts from the game? Like, I don't know if we would have been able to pull this one out against Iowa if we would have shot like that in the beginning. But, it's still a win, but kind of an ugly one, right, Stockton?
Yeah, but that's the thing, and this is a good way to jump back into the text line here because this is a good point to kind of jump on. 8968 says, I guess a team needs a bad game a few times a season. We'll take an ugly win every day over a pretty loss. And then, by the way, I don't think we want to hear what Coach said in the locker room at the half. So
you can do it.
Yeah, probably correct there. But, you do need a couple bad games. And I mentioned this in the football show last week where you need to have moments of adversity and moments of, oh, we're not doing so great, and how are we going to respond? And when you miss 18 straight shots, you're pretty much in the depths of, oh, man, we are not that great. What's going on? Why aren't my shots falling? It's all a mental battle at that point. And they did great. And, again, reiterating, they've had a better second half in all 6 of their games so far. And in a couple of those games, it's been really hard to up the game from the first half. They've still found a way to do it. And that's what makes a tournament team is, can you find a way to get the job done when it's not going well? Can you not only, play a good enough defense to compensate for your poor shooting, but then are you going to be able to find the basket at some point? And Utah State did both of those things tonight. And
it had to be the adjustments, too. I mean, give props to the guys for, not winning the first half. Not at all. Like, it looked a little chaotic out there. And then seeing them put it back together after the second quarter and coming in and slowly working back and taking down that deficit and slowly, making it a game. And then you see it in that magical time, like that 10 minutes left. Jordy Barnes came in about 12 minutes left in the Iowa game. 10 minutes left here. The Aggies' fortune started to change. So we're starting to see this team, even if it sputters in the beginning, Stockton, they're able to have a strong finish and even, win that last 10 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, and that's all it really takes is, can you find a way to get it done at the end of the game when it's been ugly for 35 minutes, when it's been a battle, when you've had to play some of the best defense of the season, when you've been tested everywhere on the floor, are you going to be able to get it done? And they do get it done tonight. Well, it doesn't matter how. It doesn't have to be pretty. It's like you say in golf, there's no pictures on the scorecard. It's just, did you win? What did you score? So
I like that.
It's a good gut check for this team for sure. The last 2 games have been good for raising questions about the offense in film review. They're going to have to go and look at some things and figure out some more creative ways to move their scores around because they did have it easy for those first 3 or so games where they were, shooting the lights off of teams that just don't really have that much defense to begin with. But when you're playing teams that are going to physically match you up and down the floor like Iowa, like St. Bonaventure, and you can still stick it out, that's great. That still means that you have a lot of stuff to build on, though, because offensively shooting, under, what is it? They shot 34% as a team today, 21% from the 3. That's not going to cut it in March.
No, not at all. Like, it is definitely going to be one of those things that they're going to need to work on and improve, and we've got conference play right around the corner, getting into the thick of the schedule, and they're going to have to be able to recoup from games like this and answer like they did in the second half. Text line open, 435-554-1175. That's 554-1175. Phone line, 435-753-5868. That's 753-KVNU from 6001. Defense and depth have really shown these last 2 games. Completely agree.
I'm actually a little split on this one. The defense, 100%. This was a defensive game. This is a trademark defensive win tonight. It came down to what the defense was able to do in spite of the offense, basically. I don't know so much about depth, though. You've only got points from 7 guys tonight. You've only got 17 bench points out of your 72 total. And I know that there's some offensive struggles. Jordy Barnes never put up a shot. He had an assist and a steal, but he never took a shot.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with Calhoun really wanting to trust his older guys and his starters and trying to put them through, some of the fire and trust them basically to get their game back because he's seen what they can do and kind of to revisit that text about wanting to see more of Jordy Barnes. Yeah, but also I've said this for football. We have the benefit of hindsight where we can say, oh, well, Jordy Barnes would have been a great creator in that situation. Maybe, but we don't know how he would have played in those situations. And I do think we'll see more of him, and I do think he'll get more involved in the scoring side of the offense. But the depth wasn't really there for me tonight, and that's part of the reason, in my opinion, they struggled shooting. From the bench, you had Carson Templin going 1 for 6 from the field, Dayton Albury going 0 for 3 from the field, and Akana going 4 for 10. And he did have those 14 points. 9 of those points are coming from threes, and 3 of them are coming from the free throw line. So he's only making 1 on the interior. You got to have more production there.
I mean, I see what you're saying there, but I think one of the things that is unsaid, if we even remove Carson's 3 points, and can we talk to him about shooting 3-pointers? I know he's got the drip. I know he's Johnny Lawrence from the Karate Kid, but we need to talk to him about those 3-pointers. But if you look, Tucker Anderson, Carson Templin, and Albury, 3 points total between the 3 of them. But they came in and they did the job on the boards. 15 rebounds.
Yeah, the rebounding was big.
They made a huge impact on the rebounds and stuff. So
yeah, and especially in a game where you only win that rebound battle by 4 total rebounds, and the offensive rebounds, those 5 offensive rebounds end up being huge in terms of the point swing, basically. But that's another thing that I kind of think you need to focus on as a team is where's your rebounding going to come from? Because it's come from someone different every night, it feels like. It hasn't been consistent. The positioning hasn't been great. A lot of these rebounds just kind of end up falling into people's hands, and they do get out positioned sometimes. So there are things to grow on. But again, you're 6-0. That's a fantastic start.
Right?
You just knocked off the St. Bonaventure Bonnies, who were having their best program start in 55 years. That's twice as long as I've been alive, a little over. And you're rolling. There's things to learn, but you get to learn them after a win, and that's all you can ask for. One more, or actually we got a couple more things coming in from the text line. We want to thank Adams Wealth Advisors. They want to understand your family, job, hobbies, and goals to earn your long-term financial trust. You can visit them at adamswealthadvisors.com to schedule time with an advisor today. Moving up to 1326, they bring up a good point here. Utah State actually did play North Texas. I think it was the same year that they played them in the bowl game. It was late November of 2019, almost exactly 5 years ago. But Utah State pulled away from North Texas in Jamaica to win that game 68-59 to move to 7-0 on that season. So we might have another Aggie team going up against another North Texas team for a potential 7-0 start, JD.
Yeah, it's one of those things, 7-0. Wouldn't that be surprising to start the Calhoun era?
Honestly, at this point, no. I wouldn't be. I'd be disappointed if they were 6-1.
It kind of I don't think it ever sprinkles in Logan anymore. I think it just Calhoun's.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Prodigy Brewing, it's the tryptophan kicking in, man. Prodigy Brewing, proud sponsors of Aggie Call, Logan's family-friendly brew pub. Cafe Sabor, also great food to go check out. The locals' favorite, that $7.95 burrito special on Thursday. And tell you, it feeds the family. Les Olson IT, defense wins championships. And from 07-83, I had a good time watching the game. Can still remember the first I watched and heard about St. Bonaventure. I heard them watching them at school in an NCAA first-round game against Kentucky that went to double overtime with a teacher nice enough to let us watch the games. Now, I tell you, that teacher making memories and stuff there. I had a teacher like that, too. Coach Siebenless would let us watch March Madness in math class, and he told us not to tell anybody.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome. I remember a couple teachers that I had that were like that, where, if it was the round of 64, we'd kind of be going through class, but they'd have like a 4-game split going on the smart board or something like that.
Oh, and I love how he says listen to this, folks, the smart board. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know what generation I came from. We'd wheel the TV on that giant cart into the class in high school, the one with the VCR. I don't even think we had DVD players back then. Stockton. So that's how we kind of watched the game, and thankful for cable back then and ESPN to cover all that stuff. But if you guys want to sound off, we're going to take one more quick break here, and then I think we're going to wrap it up here on Aggie Call. If you would like to get your thoughts in on the win over St. Bonaventure 72-67, reach out 554-1175 here on the text line 752-5868. That's 753 KVNU. One of these days, my dyslexic numbers and letters and words will actually end. But at 753-5868, 753-KVNU, celebrating the light, the A blue in Logan tonight. We'll be right back with our final segment of Aggie Call.
Show me the way. I know it's gone a long road. There must be a light at the end of the tunnel before I go out of control. I wanna fall in love.
A mouth-watering Cafe Sabor burrito, smothered in cheese and fresh guacamole with endless chips and salsa, plus your favorite drink, all for just $7.95. It's Locals Day at Cafe Sabor. Every Thursday, the drinks are bottomless, the chips and salsa are endless, and the burritos are amazing, all for just $7.95. There's nothing better. It's Cafe Sabor's way of saying thanks, Cache Valley. Don't miss Locals Day every Thursday at Cafe Sabor in the historic train station, 6th West and Center in Logan.
This Thanksgiving, Adams Wealth Advisors is grateful for you, our clients, and our community. It's our sincerest wish that as you host or travel to meet loved ones, safety follows you wherever you may be. Adams Wealth Advisors is here to help you secure your financial future so you can focus on what truly matters. Happy Thanksgiving from Adams Wealth Advisors, building your legacy and protecting your peace of mind. Visit adamswealthadvisors.com to learn more.
Les Olson IT structured cabling is second to none. Tired of old and inefficient cabling? Have an upgrade or remodel planned? Building a new network from the ground up? We offer the very best in low voltage cabling installation, including data, phone, fiber optic, and more. Ask us how to get your free consultation today.
Les Olson IT.
It's back. Jerrod's Fine Jewelry in Logan is having our annual Pick a Pearl event. If you've attended this in the past, you know how much fun we have. And if you haven't come before, you don't want to miss this exciting event. For only $10, pick your oyster, open it that day, or save it for that stocking stuffer surprise. Mark your calendar, Friday and Saturday, December 13th and 14th. Pick a Pearl at Jerrod's Fine Jewelry, 930 North Main. Look for the bright green cars.
Utah State Aggie Sports is sponsored by Prodigy Brewing, Logan's family-friendly brew pub. Best of Northern Utah winner on News Talk KVNU.
My daddy always was a gentleman, never the kind who ever forced his hand. He would always be the last one to raise his voice.
Welcome back to our final segment of KVNU Aggie Game Day, celebrating the blue light shining in Cache Valley. 72-67, the Aggies take out the Bonnies. If you'd like to get some final thoughts in here, 753-5868. That's 753-KVNU. 554-1175. That's a text line, 554-1175. We have been corrected, Stockton. Will, our PD and extraordinaire who helps make everything kind of run behind the scenes, has it all locked down for tomorrow. Looks like we will kick off KVNU Aggie Game Day for the football game at 11:30. The game will come on at 1:30. The Aggies will be taking on the winner of the game tonight between North Iowa and North Texas at 4 o'clock. So we will 4:30. We will join probably the game in progress or pretty close to the end.
It'll be the second half of the first half.
Yeah, so we will jump in for all the recap after the basketball game is over on a extended, supersized XL edition of Aggie Call. We'll have Jalen Moore on to talk about stuff. We also have a couple other surprise guests that'll be stopping in to join us on Aggie Call tomorrow. So kind of a cool think about Stockton. We've tomorrow is going to be a long Aggie day, a Black Friday, but
not as long as we initially thought.
Yeah, and the egg could be blue twice tomorrow with the tournament championship tomorrow.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll turn it off and then turn it back on just for fun.
Just blink it, blink it off.
I don't know if I've told this story on this show, but I was telling you this last week.
This is interesting.
Yeah,
this is good stuff.
So I know I'm not initially from Logan. My dad is from Cache Valley. My grandpa and my grandma have been here for about 60 years. They met as students at Utah State and never left. But my Uncle Tony, my dad's younger brother, he worked for Chuck Bell back in the 90s as a student intern. And while he was working for Chuck, he obviously got into that world and has a lot of respect for Chuck Bell and got to see firsthand all the stuff that the Bell family did for the Utah State program. But he also, as a student, he had an idea. He said, hey, if we win games in any sport, why don't we light the A blue up on Old Main? And so now I think like a little over 30 years later, it's a long-standing Jukes family tradition.
I love that, man. That is so awesome. And he told me that last week, and I'm just like, it's just those little things that kind of tie everything back together that make us love the Aggies, love where we live here in Cache Valley. And, you know, it doesn't matter where you're watching at or listening at today. We had fans show up there in Orlando and took it in at the Wild World of Sports at the Mouse House and watched the Aggies take out the St. Bonaventure Bonnies 72-67. Stockton, as we get ready to wrap it up here, any final thoughts? Your game ball, who would you give it to if you had to pass it around? I know kind of a, one for all for one kind of performance.
Yeah, I think I'd have to give it to it's going to be split for me between Mason Falslev and Coach Calhoun, because like you were saying earlier, whatever Coach Calhoun is doing in the locker room, whether we can repeat that under FCC guidelines or not is irrelevant, because they're getting wins. And that's all the evidence that I need to see that he is got a good handle on this team, even when they're shooting sub 20%. For Falslev, not the greatest shooting night, but had a couple really big shots in that second half, and the 12 rebounds, another double-double for the guy. A couple days after he gets engaged, just everything going right for him, and I'm happy for the guy and happy that he's an Aggie and not playing for someone else.
I agree. I'm going to go with Coach Calhoun. I think coming in after the Aggies' success last year and facing the stuff, he got the recruiting class, the best ever. He's got the team off to a 6-0 start. And I know there's 42 seconds left in the Ole Miss or BYU game, but to give you guys just a little bit more to be thankful for today, the state of Utah is owned by our Utah State Aggies. BYU going down to Ole Miss 94-83. There's only 37 seconds left, and Ryan Smith's NIL fund cannot help BYU overcome Ole Miss
Pretty
right
sure
now.
He's a Utah guy anyway.
Well, I think he's strapped
Salt
to the
Lake
NIL
guy.
and all that stuff. So, but yeah.
Yeah, no, this is good. This is fun. It was tied 77 apiece going into overtime. It's now 94-85 Ole Miss with 32.1 seconds left. So I think we can comfortably say that BYU is now 5-1. And Utah State is the only undefeated team in the state of Utah. Also, I love the fact that you pronounced the non-existent D in Ole Miss. That's really fun.
Ole Miss, oh, come on, man. One of these days, you're going to stop giving me grief for my dyslexia and how it comes across.
As soon as you stop giving me grief for being born in the 90s.
That'll never happen. Never, ever happen. Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen. For Stockton Jukes, I'm J.D. Walker. This has been Aggie Calls, celebrating a win 72-67. Our Aggies taking out St. Bonaventure's Bonnies. Where it's going to do it for us tonight. Happy Thanksgiving. And we'll be back here tomorrow, 11:30 for KVNU Aggie Game Day as the Aggies get ready to take on the final game of the football season against Colorado State. Let's end it on a good note. Have a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Utah State broadcast has been a presentation of News Talk KVNU and the Cache Valley Media Group, the heritage home for the Aggies.